quick review on addition, and then we're going to work on some multiplication. You have 2 assignments you're going to work on tonight, and then tomorrow we're going to do the practice test. Your test will be Friday. And, oh, we've made a nice mess of these. Thanks, guys. So the practice test is up on the table. I recommend you get started on it tonight because we'll only have 1 day in class to work on it. And then your test will be Friday. So if I had 2 polynomials, x to the third minus 6x squared plus 4, and I added that to 3x to the third plus, third, plus 7x minus 18. Remember, when you're adding polynomials, you're just finding like terms. So you do need to take notes on this. So pull out something to write on. You can write on the back of that, I guess. No, you can't, because it's full. Remember, if you don't take notes, it does hurt your grade. So notes are not optional. So, does the x to the third in the first polynomial have a like term? Yeah. There's another x to the third in the second polynomial. So 1x to the third and 3x to the third is 4x to the third. Okay? Does x squared have a like term? No, it doesn't. So I just write it down. Then I look in the second polynomial and I have an x. It doesn't have a like term. So it just gets written down, 7x. And then my constants are like terms, 4 and negative 18. So 4 minus 18 is minus 14, and that would be my answer. Okay. So let's try another one. What if I had 3x plus 7 minus 9x minus 3? Subtraction works a little bit differently. If you have a subtraction, you need to bring that subtraction into the second polynomial. So I'm going to take this negative and I'm going to stick it on the inside, and the 9 is positive, so it becomes negative 9, and the 3 is negative, so it becomes positive 3, and we can forget about that negative. Now we just combine like terms again. What is 3x minus 9x minus 6x? What is 7 plus 3? 10. So let's consider the difference between adding 2 polynomials and multiplying 2 polynomials. So if we had something like 2x plus 6, and we added that to 5x minus 11, we're just going to combine like terms. So 2x and 5x is 7x, and 6 minus 11 is negative 5. That's what we did yesterday. Today we're going to multiply those together. So if I had 2x plus 6, and I multiplied that by 5x minus 11, when you multiply, you don't worry about like terms. So we're going to take 2x and times it by 5x. We have a binomial multiplied by a binomial, and every term in the first one has to be multiplied by every term in the second one. So if we do 2x and 5x, that's 10x squared, because we're multiplying. 2 times 5 is 10, x times x is x squared. Now we do 2x times negative 11, which is negative 22x. And then 6 times 5x is 30x. and then 6 times negative 11 is negative 66. So don't get adding and multiplying mixed up. Up here when we add, we just combine like terms. When we multiply, we make sure that every term in the first polynomial gets multiplied by every term in the second. And if the first polynomial had 3 and the second polynomial had 3, you're going to end up with a big, long list of numbers that you need to look for like terms. Once you multiply, we just look through and we find the like terms. I have 2 versions of x. So I can combine those and everything else just gets written down. So the 10x squared doesn't have any like terms. My negative 22x and my 30x become 8x. And then my minus 66 just comes along for the ride. So look at your multiply worksheet. On number 1, you have a monomial and a binomial. So to multiply a monomial times a binomial, I just distribute. 6v times 2v is 12v squared. And then 6v times 3 is 18v. Now, do I have any like terms? Can I simplify this further? No, I have a v squared and a v, and they're not like terms, so they don't mix. Okay? So 1 through 4 is similar to that. If you look at number 5, we have a binomial and a binomial, just like the example we worked a minute ago. So we start with the first term, we multiply that term through. 2n and 6n is 12n squared. And then 2n and 1 is just 2n. Now we move on to the second term. 2 times 6n is 12n. And then 2 times 1 is 2. After you have your multiplication done, now you look for like terms. 12n squared has no like terms, so I just write it down. There are like terms in the n's. So 2n and 12n make 14n. And then the plus 2 doesn't have a like term, so that would be your final answer. Okay? Look at number 13. It's very common to make a mistake with number 13. A lot of students say 4p times 4p is 16p squared. Negative 1 times negative 1 is plus 1. That doesn't work. What you need to do on number 13 is write down 4p minus 1 times, well, is that what you meant, Reagan? Okay, sorry. You said add in it. Yeah, multiply the second one on there. Okay, yeah, you're right. So now you multiply them out this way. Okay? Look at number 22. Now we have a trinomial and a binomial. So this one's going to take a lot of steps. You're going to do n squared to both of them. Then you're going to do 6n to both of them. Then you're going to do negative 4 to both of them. And you're going to end up with a big long line, and you need to combine like terms. Number 23 is even longer. Yeah, it doesn't matter how many terms there are, you just follow this pattern. And that's as big as they're going to get in this class. But you could have a 10-term polynomial and a 20-term polynomial, and that would be really hard. So your assignment today is to do this multiply worksheet. Then you also need to do page 23 in the book. 23 has both addition and multiplication. And some of you have been stapling your bookwork to your worksheets. Don't do that because sometimes we miss the fact that there's a bookwork paper on the back. So if you look at your grade online and there's something you turned in that you don't have credit for, especially a book assignment, we can look back through the box and find it. So hand them in. You can hand them in together, but just don't staple them.